Whispered Chapter Productions presents One Day at a Time. Created by Renita Bowers.
I woke up this morning thinking it would be like any other Wednesday. The sun climbed slowly over the river, painting the sky in soft peach and lavender hues. Clouds deepened to navy as the morning light stretched across the swamp. I left the house, stretching my arms, letting that sticky summer air settle over my skin. These early morning walks beside the river have always been my peaceful start to the day. There's a rhythm to it. The way the water glints in the sun, the smell of damp earth and sweet grass, the subtle hum of cicadas waking before the heat becomes oppressive. Things are very different now than when the war began. We used to have unlimited electricity, grocery stores with too many cereal boxes to count, and internet and cell phones that used to be our lifeline. Online grocery shopping, Friday nights spent drinking too much at the bar with friends. Then the war came, summer of 2026. Draft letters tore through families, pulling friends and neighbors into battles that never belonged to them. Food and gas shortages turned everyday life into a test of endurance. Some kids were too young to be drafted, but too old to be ignored. And they stirred trouble wherever they went. And then there were the deserters, men and women who ran from the letters and the world that caught them up in the chaos. It felt like nowhere was safe in those first few years. Here in Sedgepoint County, though, we pulled ourselves together. We went back to our grandparents' ways, farming, trading, tending to one another. We survived. Somehow we began to thrive, and even though life is slower now, I think we might be lucky to have this quiet, to live and breathe without the constant noise of a world gone mad. After my walk, I stopped in on Miss Calhoun. That mean old woman keeps going strong even at 80. She hobbled to the door, squinting at me.
You really want to wear your hair like that?
Are you going to let me do my checkup today or not? Her answer came as a clatter of dishes in the kitchen and a steaming cup of holly tea, just like always. For a moment, I thought maybe the way the world changed wasn't all bad. Maybe we were lucky here in Sedgepoint, living slowly and carefully, tending the land and each other, staying away from the big city rough living. After examining her and offering gentle scolding about resting more, she sent me out to her garden for my payment. Mint, thyme, and sweet grass that'll be stubborn enough to outlive winter. As I bent to collect my reward, the air smelled that familiar, sweet, earthy way. Wiping my hands on my pants, I spotted a blue heron across the river, fishing quietly, and a chill ran down my spine. My grandma's words whispered in my mind.
Oh, someone is stepping on your grave, girl.
I stepped closer to the water, brushing off dirt, trying to shake the odd chill. That's when the river started to shimmer. At first I thought it was a ripple, a fish breaking the surface, but it trembled again and again until the water itself rose off the banks. Large spheres dotted the sky, dark with the tannin-rich river water. Inside the orbs, catfish, bluegill, and a bass swam, silver and bright. Their fins were pressing against the edges of the floating water, and then they began to glow, pulsing in waves like a heartbeat. I blinked and looked down the river bend. Grass, trees, and clay-filled mud were alive with colors I'd never seen. And above it all, the sky had changed. There were not one, not two, 3 suns. Our familiar sun hung at its normal place at about 7 o'clock, shining its yellow-white light that we're familiar with. A second sun glowed purple with a pink halo, and the smallest one glowed a deep orange. Then the earth started to shake. Trees toppled over, rocks cracked. After a moment, the water crashed back into the riverbed. I dropped my satchel and ran, scrambling through Miss Calhoun's backyard garden. I couldn't find her in the kitchen or the bedroom, so I barreled out onto the porch. I found her lying on her side. She hollered, pain flashing across her face. Now, I've grown up in church around here, raised on Sunday school and main services. I've always believed in some higher power, though not exactly like Pastor Williams claims as the end-all be-all, but I hoped with every inch of my soul that someone was listening.
Please, help me to help her.
As I laid my hands on her hip, I watched in disbelief. That bone slipped right back into its place on its own, tendons and muscles rearranging themselves beneath her skin. I gasped when she stood on her own.
Something ain't right. You get off my property with that devil work.
Now, Miss Calhoun, I was just trying to help you.
One step closer and I'll skin you alive.
That's when the church bells rang. Only Sunday mornings at 9 and Christmas at noon did they chime. I thought of my son Lee. I ran on home, past neighbors murmuring about the world, the president, and then I heard it.
The war is over.
I need to make it to my family. 30 minutes later, I crashed through the screen door. Lee is clinging to his Mimi, his curly hair plastered to his forehead. He ran to me and we clung together, trembling.
What in God's green earth is happening out there, Luce?
I don't know, Mama. I was going past the Thompsons and I heard someone say the war is over.
Is that what rattled the whole world?
I guess so. There is so much more out there. I don't even know how to explain it, Mama.
It was about that time when little Lee chimed in and asked if the shadows were going to hurt us. I didn't know what to say to him. I wasn't quite sure what he meant, but the fear in him hurt me more than anything. We fought so hard, all of us. We fought to keep some semblance of peace and balance in his little world from the day his daddy had to leave for war to now. After a bit of silent waiting, Mimi and I decided to pack Lee up in the hand-pulled wagon and head on over to the church, hoping Pastor Williams had answers. On the way, shadows lifted oddly in the trees and puddles reflected darkness deeper than the night. I pressed Lee into my chest and kept moving, sensing eyes on us. By dusk, we arrived. Inside, the air was heavy, pressing on your chest, making prayers stumble before they could leave your lips. Pastor Williams stood up before the pews, his Bible closed, and his hand plumb shaking as he dabbed at his forehead.
Brothers and sisters, I know you've all heard the whispers. The war that's raged so long, it's over. Just like that. No victory declared, no flag raised, just silence. I've been told by certain officials that this was the work of what they call the Concord Initiative, a project meant to bring balance, to restore what was broken. Now, I don't claim to understand it all. I only know this. Peace don't come cheap. There's always a price. And those who hold the truth of this concord aren't keen on letting it loose. They say the fighting stopped because of an agreement, a binding of power and will. That's all I know. And truth be told, I don't care to know more. But hear me. It is not for us to meddle in. The Lord provides what we need when we need it. This Concord Initiative may be man's doing, or it may be something greater. But it is not ours. Don't go digging where the soil's too deep. Some truths were buried for a reason. The good book says, "The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but the things revealed belong to us and to our children forever." That means what's hidden stays in His hands. And what He's chosen to show us, that's all we need to live by. Nothing more. Now let us pray for peace and for the wisdom not to stir the waters that have finally grown still.
He spoke clearly, slowly. The Concord Initiative was real. It ended the war, yes, but also released something that made our world bend. People shared their experiences. Sheep standing on roofs they never could have jumped on. Vines overtaking yards in the matter of minutes. Glowing fish. No one had answers. Everyone was afraid. All I had on my mind was an old hymn my grandmother used to sing. So I did like she taught me to do. I sang. When the storm gathers dark on the water, when the earth shakes the ground under me, I will rest in the hand of my Maker. Still my heart will believe, will believe. It is peace in the shadow. Though the night presses heavy on me, I will sing with a faith ever steady. Still my heart will believe, will believe. It is peace in the shadow. Though the night presses heavy on me, I will sing with a faith ever steady. Still my heart will believe, will believe. I'm back home now. The candles are flickering and the house feels uneasy. And I write this. My mind is racing with every unknown imaginable. Is James coming home? What does the future even look like for any of us? I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow will bring or what the initiative has unleashed, but I will record it all. Each wonder, each strange occurrence, each awful happening. If nothing else, these pages will remember the world's beginning and maybe, just maybe, help me remember too. I'll take it one day at a time. Lucille Rivers.